Welcome back to Fantasy Turf War. I am Commissioner Corey, and today we are continuing our interview series of our 64 teams for Season 1. And today our special guest is Mariella Falls. Mariella owns her own company called Married by Mariella, where she is a wedding planner, event coordinator, kind of just a Swiss Army knife of all of your wedding needs. And we cover a wide range of topics from stressors to trends to why do you need wedding planners and the benefits that they have. We talk about her backstory and how she started her company, and it's a really great conversation. I learned a whole lot, and hopefully you guys do too. And we'll make sure that we link everything in the show notes so you guys can reach out to her. She is great. You can tell that in the interview. She's definitely passionate about what she does, and she is a great conversationalist, and that really shows through in the interview. So it was our pleasure to have her on the show, and I'm glad she's part of the league. So thankful that she's part of the league. And I hope you guys go check her out on her website and let her know we sent you. Good afternoon, Marielle. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Wanted to take the time today to first thank you for joining this crazy idea of a 64-team fantasy football league on YouTube. I'm glad to have you guys aboard, and you and your husband Rich are a welcome addition to the league, and I think you guys bring a pretty fresh perspective. So welcome to the league.
Thank you.
So what we do with these interviews is we take this time to get to know you, the individual, and a lot of the teams in the league are small business oriented, and so we want to make sure that we're highlighting you and giving you time to explain kind of what your business is and how you got your start and the whole history. So walk us through, Married by Mariella, and how did that start, and what was your motivation there?
Yeah. So I started when I moved to Florida and I was doing like a 9 to 5 desk job and was just like, this is not really for me, not something that I want to do forever, like sit there and do the same thing. So I was like online and I was like, let's think of stuff we could do. I've always been kind of into planning and coordinating things for family, but never really like wanted to pursue it professionally yet. And then I applied for a job that was just an assistant coordinator to help. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get it, but we'll just try. So I applied and she immediately like called me for an interview and I was so surprised. But then we hopped on the phone and we talked for like 2 hours. We just like connected. And then I went to shadow her to see if I liked doing it. And I immediately like fell in love with what I was doing and was like, this is so much fun. This doesn't feel like a job for me. I literally was like, I'll do this for free. So
Don't tell them that.
but no, I didn't. But I was like, this is so fun. And so then I started working for her, doing little weddings here and there on the side. And then after a while, I was like, this is something I could kind of do by myself. I feel like it wasn't even that long. It was like 6 months. And I was like, let's just do it. And it was kind of one of those things where I was just like, just go for it and see what happens. Because what could go wrong? Either you don't do it or you do. So I was like, okay, let's do it. So I asked her how to do it, and she was really nice and like followed me and showed me how to run a business, because I've obviously never ran a business before in my life. I knew absolutely nothing about it. So she walked me through all like the legal stuff and all the setting up other stuff. And so then we started doing all that, and then I was like, okay, I have to think of a name. So I was like, what goes with my name? I don't know. I was like, Falls Events, and that's my last name. So I was like, okay, I could do that, but I also wanted it to be geared towards weddings. So I was like, Married by Mariella. So I was like, okay, so I got that. I first started out officiating weddings. So I didn't do like the whole coordinating thing just yet. I started out going and being an officiant, got that online done, got certified, and then started doing that. And then after I did a couple of those, I started going into more of coordinating. And then after that, I decided to do full planning, because I really like the whole aspect of doing everything and kind of seeing where it begins out of scratch and then how it ends, how it all comes together. So yeah, that's kind of how my business started, and that's where we are now. Now we're about 3.5, 4 years later, and now I have a team of girls that work underneath me that are ordained to marry people as well as plan and coordinate. We just threw in content creation. That's like a big thing now.
Very
So
cool.
kind of just expanding right now. Still a small business, and I'm gonna keep it that way. I think it's more personable for weddings and stuff. I don't want to have like work with one person one time and then not know them. I rather work with like the same 4 or 5 girls that I can really trust and um, get to know them and be with them.
Very cool. I like it. And so, when I hear like wedding planner, wedding coordinator, my mind goes, we're big movie buffs in our family. You probably know this too.
Yes.
So my brain goes to like the Jennifer Lopez movie. She's got the headset, she's got walkie talkies or radios. Just so is it that kind of intense, or is it a little more laid back, subdued kind of thing? Because I'm a little inexperienced on weddings, so.
Yeah, so it's not that intense. It is nice to have communication that way, I guess. But we're more of like we want to like be not be your friend, but be your friend during the process. So instead of you going to a corporate business and saying like, "Hey, we're gonna do your wedding, and this is the exact mold, and this is like every single thing is already written out for you." Ours is kind of customizable, so kind of we want to go meet you at the coffee shop. We don't want to meet you in an office. We want to get to know you as a person and see how we can help you bring your vision to life in a way of us carrying and going that extra step instead of just, okay, these are your options, pink, gold, black, white. Like, we want to see your ideas. If it's something crazy, we've done weddings that are Halloween themed, that are Star Wars themed, that are Disney themed, anything like is up for grabs. So we kind of want to see like your personality through your wedding. So we want to like get that like one on one with people.
Very cool. I like it, and I have volunteered as a stormtrooper at a couple of weddings when I was living in Las Vegas. So I
Ah,
know those how those go, and it's always fun.
it's so
So yeah, and it's nice to see like the bride and groom enjoying their day like that. So
right.
it's always a good time. So it's a good segue then, right? So um, when it comes to wedding planning and coordinating, what's like your philosophy? I know you got into it a little bit with we're not meeting in an office, we're meeting in a coffee shop. It's very personal. Like how do you guys approach weddings, and what would you like use as your success criteria for a successful wedding? Like how do you know that you've nailed it?
I think so. The initial talk when we like go with someone and kind of just jot down their ideas, I always keep everything. So I like to look at what the ideas was. What I always say, like share your Pinterest board with me. A Pinterest, I don't know if you're familiar with, is something where you can just like pin things and like see, hey, these are my ideas for so and so. Like this is my what my dream wedding looks like. And I always like to look at that first. And then at the end of the wedding, I like to say, like, hey, did we really come together and really get into it and pick out the exact things that they wanted? Did we try our best to get this vision how they wanted it to look? And so at the end, when they're happy and they're thanking us and saying like, you guys literally wouldn't have been able to done it without you. We get those comments. It's like so meaningful and it's so rewarding at the end when you're like, yes, like I actually did do exactly what you wanted. And of course, it's not going to be always to the 100% T, but we try our best to get as close as we can. And you most of the time, it's very successful.
Very cool. I like it. So I don't know if you know my backstory, but we have not had a wedding yet, so I am getting constant pressure to fix that. So
Yeah,
I'm very interested in this topic for reasons,
yeah.
and so one of the questions I would have as an end user myself is, how do you help a client who maybe they like I have a Pinterest account, I think, for a contest at some point. How do you help folks who may not know what they want? How do you get them started trying to figure out what it is that they're actually having like in their head?
Yeah. So we send out a questionnaire once we book with you, and it kind of goes through things to kind of narrow that down. So we'll ask you how important a certain thing is to you. Like if you're thinking floral, how important is floral to you? Do you want fake flowers? Have you thought about real flowers? Do you not care so much? We'll go through those kind of things. We'll say, what kind of music do you like? Do you like country? Do you like pop? Do you like a DJ that wants to be really interactive? Do you want someone who's kind of not so much involved in the crowd and just kind of lays low? We'll ask all those questions. We'll say, like, how hands on do you want us to be? Do you want us to be fully hands on? Do you want us to kind of take a step back? Do you want to partially know and partially not? Or do you want to just say, hey, go for it? And this is what I like, and you do your thing. Like, we have all kinds of stuff that you guys can pick from. We can also share our Pinterest board with you. Each one of our coordinators has Pinterest. So we have stuff on there that it could be like examples or of past weddings that you want to see, that you might be interested in. We usually start out with your interests and what you like and what you guys, your love story and where you met, because maybe we can incorporate some things like that. Like we just had one that they met at Starbucks, so they put in like Starbucks in their whole wedding. So it was like Starbucks cups and coffee bar and stuff like that. And then we had one that was from Chicago, so their late night snacks was pizza and hot dogs and nachos and stuff like that. So it was just kind of just getting, like I said, getting to know somebody personally, and then getting to vision that with them.
Very cool. So, side question: what pizza did they get?
They got pizza from Florida, so it's not really Chicago
Whoa, whoa,
pizza,
whoa, whoa!
but
Giordano's is down that way.
no, but I did actually just find a pizza place that was real close. So I was like, wow, that was good.
Okay,
But they're from
okay.
Chicago, so I was like, um, yes, but that was it.
Cool. Well, it's nice that you kind of put it in front of them and just say, hey, look, like maybe don't tackle all of it at once. Let's answer
Right.
some simple questions first, and then we'll get there. Start
Exactly.
with the basics. So I like that approach, and I would have no idea where to start for myself. So that's good. A questionnaire would
Yes.
be very helpful for myself. So that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to weddings, I think probably
Mhm.
one of the biggest stigma is probably the wrong word, but probably one of the biggest things that people focus on is the stress.
Yeah.
And so, everyone's heard the story of Bridezilla or something like that, or
Mhm.
just everyone freaked out, right? But I think this is probably one of the best things about having a wedding planner, wedding coordinator there is that they take care of a lot of those stressors for the users, the guests. And so, can you
Yes.
talk a little bit about how that can help with the stress process, and maybe talk about some stress that you've seen in prior weddings or experiences?
Definitely. I think having a wedding planner, not because I am a wedding planner, but because I've seen so many weddings that have had them and then have not, just because I've also been a guest and I've also been in weddings, like not planning weddings. It's so nice to have that person who has been through it multiple times, that knows the things that you do need, like you do need to get done, and things that you really don't need to get done. So when people are planning a wedding, they automatically think that there's like this mold that they have to do this, and that's totally not it. We're always there to reassure you that it's your wedding day and it's your choice. I know a lot of brides, grooms, everybody gets stressed out when other people's opinions come in. So we're kind of there to be like, hey, it's their day. We're kind of that person to figure it out and just kind of focus on you and your day. And then also that we've worked with the vendors that people are stressed out about. So I only recommend the vendors that I've worked with. I won't recommend somebody that I've never worked with because I don't know how they work, and I would want to give my honest opinion. So that's another stressor when people are like, I don't know if they're gonna like do good, or I don't know like how they are and their personality. And that's why we always try to match people up with like I said, personality. So if I'm gonna be have this one person who loves to go do the party aspect and then have a DJ who is just like really relaxed and not want to do that, I wouldn't pair them together. We kind of are there to like lead you through that process. Also, wedding contracts and stuff like that, we look that over. So people don't really, let's be honest, people don't really read them all the time, which that's when
Like the
people get,
terms and use agreements, right? You just scroll
yes,
down.
yes, they're like, okay, sign. And then we're just like, did you read it? But we're also there to double check that and look over all the verbiage and everything that is on there to help you walk you through that and make sure you know what you're signing before you sign it. And make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck. That's really big. Weddings can obviously be super expensive, and as a person who like plans weddings, seeing the way things went up, obviously because of everything going up, so we have to raise our prices too. I see kind of both sides of the client and the like owner, so it's really good to have somebody there that can just kind of be like in the middle and say, hey, this is kind of the going price right now. Unfortunately, everything goes up, so this is also going to go up. Kind of tell you where to spend your money on things and where it's like unnecessary. But again, we always give you the option. We'll just tell you our opinion, and then you can choose if you still want to spend your money on that certain thing. Like, go ahead, but it's not super necessary or not. But Yeah, so I think that's basically it for wedding planners, but I think it's really essential to have somebody there who just is really knowledgeable in that aspect.
Yeah, I like it, and you hit on a couple points that I was going to get to. So perfect timing.
Yeah,
Vendors, and so one of the nice things that I've seen with coordinators and planners is that um, you have preferred vendors, but you vouch for them in a sense that, like, hey, you've worked with them before, you know they do a good job, and so it does
right.
take a lot of pressure off the consumer, the bride and groom, of, is this person going to deliver? Are they going to, is their advertisement what they actually produce, and that kind of thing. So it does take a lot of the pressure and homework off of trying to get those things lined up. So I do like that quite a bit. Um,
A
let's
lot
see.
of our like full planning couples, which means like basically you kind of do the work for me, is a lot of our people who have full time jobs and kids and sports and everything else. So it's hard to juggle all that plus planning a wedding. So we try to take that stress off of you and become like that contact for vendors, to contact us. And then if we have like a question for you, we can address it all at one time rather than this person's contacting you, this person's contacting you, and then it's so many people back and forth. We're kind of that like mediator of taking that stress too.
Okay. And how often, in your experience, would you say, like, something something inevitably goes wrong, right? But, like, how often do you think something actually, like, necessarily catastrophic happens, where, like, you've got a hard pivot in the middle of a ceremony kind of thing? Does that happen a lot?
It doesn't. It actually does not happen as often as people think that it does
Okay.
happen, but we've been through so many things where it's just like now we just like brush it under. And I always tell them, I'm like, tell my brides and grooms, the only person that knows that that was supposed to happen is me and you and nobody else. So nobody even thought about it, even though you think so, but nobody thought about it.
I like it. And
Yeah.
it's good too, is like you hit on it, especially, with financials, is it weddings can be very, very expensive.
Yes.
And so I like that you had expressed that you're not there to necessarily drive a certain product, like push a certain brand of flowers or something like that. Is like, you're just going to make people aware of where the price point is. If it's something you care about, you can spend the extra money on, this is what I want to spend my money on, but you're making it aware that there are ways to maybe not spend that much money, and try and figure it out a different way so that you can keep that in mind. So I like that approach, because that's not something you see if you go to. I don't have a name to drop necessarily, and I don't know if I would, but like the corporate planning, because they're
Right.
they're in they're in it to make the most money possible, right? And so,
Right.
in that sense, they're going to push the product that's going to make them the most, and not necessarily what's going to be the best return on investment for you. So I
Right.
like that approach a lot. All right. So one of the things I wanted to kind of touch on, is like the creative process, right? Because
Mhm.
you're essentially starting with a blank page, with every client, and they may have some ideas, but nothing's necessarily been formalized until you guys work on it together. So, how do you address each client to make sure that their stories are unique and told uniquely, and, like, where do you
Mhm.
draw those inspirations from with the clients?
Yeah. So, are you talking about like coordinating or officiating or both kind of?
Yeah, kind of
Both.
all of it.
Okay. So yeah. So first, when I do the officiating ceremony script, everything is customizable. So we go on there and we ask them, do you want like religion in there? Do you not? Kind of like the questionnaire that we send for coordinating. We say like, do you want it to be long? Do you want it to be short? And all of them are just like short, short, short. But we ask all those questions. We kind of, like I said, hear their love story, so we kind of like to bring that into there of like how they met. We always say to incorporate some humor so it's not all so serious. So we'll say like, do you have like an inside joke? Do you have something where you're like want to say but don't know how to say it? Will even help write personal vows. So a lot of people get stuck on that like personal vow part where they're like, I know what I want to say, I just don't know how to put it together. So we say, okay, so that we'll have them send us everything we say, like kind of just like throw up on paper. That's literally what we say. We would say, let it all out. It could be as sobby as you want. It could be as funny as you want. Like write everything down, like what you first thought, all the things, and then we kind of take that and we'll put it together for them in a way that is more of like a storytelling type thing for their vows. So we'll even work with that, or if they just want custom standard vows, we'll do that as well. With coordinating, how we start doing the creative side with that and planning. Coordinating is more of just like the day of coordinating the timeline, but planning, when we do full planning, we have full and partial. That's kind of where we sit down and look at those different things. So, full planning, obviously, we'll start like I said, the most important to the least. So we'll go through centerpieces with them. Like, what kind do they like? The rustic look? Do they like the elegant look? Do they like um, I don't know, the beach look. So we'll go through stuff like that. And let's just say, like, okay, they like the beach themed. Okay, so we'll go with blues and greens and kind of like the sandy stuff colors. We'll go with coral. We'll go with those kind of colors and show them different ideas of what things could look like. If you wanted some seashells, if you wanted, um, not if you didn't even want any of that and you just wanted something plain, we could do like candles. We'll show them like the basics to the extreme, and then we'll show them like kind of give them price ranges of like what vendors can supply that and what the price range will be for those. So we'll kind of go through and just like really make like a vision board of what they really like, because sometimes husband wife 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 husband husband, they don't obviously sometimes have the same ideas. So we try to
You mean
kind
not
of put
every wife wants the
that
stormtroopers
right.
marching her down the aisle?
I know, right? It's weird. But yes, but sometimes people are just like, yeah, go ahead, like whatever you guys think, and then it's fun because then we get to take the creative side of seeing what they want and what we come up with, and then we'll show it to them obviously and be like, so we took your ideas, this is kind of what we kind of think, and took your ideas and what you think, and then this is what we came up with, and we can change anything you want to change, we can add anything, and we'll go through that as well.
It's an interesting point because, generally speaking, they probably haven't had a lot of experience in weddings. That's where your expertise comes in. So you've seen all the different variations, and so you can offer those things to them that may fit better to their ideas. But with that, like, what are some current trends that you've seen with some of the weddings you've done recently, or like what is like the thing to be doing? And then, conversely, like how do you approach in the age of social media
Yeah.
this this pressure to like it has to be Instagram worthy of like how do you approach those things with clients?
Yeah, so I say like a bunch of the in trends right now is a lot of the either like different colored dresses for girls, doing like a I don't even know what they're like a flower boy or something. That's like a in thing now. Like instead of doing the traditional flower girl, they think it's like a fun thing to make their best man be the flower girl and like throw some fun stuff down the aisle. I feel like they've incorporated for social media a lot of humor to try to get people to um, laugh and get likes and do all these things, which is funny, and it is a thing, and that's why content creation has become such a big thing in the wedding industry, just to capture those moments. But I guess that would be taking away some the traditional aspects. So it kind of like it's totally up to you which route you want to go. But I would say following social media trends, I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of like what we offer also is like an audio phone book. That's something that's different from back in whenever we used to like sign things, sign the guest book and write a message, put your address so they can mail something back for you. Now it's more they can do like they do a lot of Polaroid pictures to take a picture and put your picture in place of it. Audio phone book, which is like leaving a message and then it gets all recorded. Um, they have like the 360 photo booths now, which is like a fun thing that you can do. You can like stand on there and spin around, and it does all this fun stuff. But yeah, there's been like a bunch of things ceremony wise. I would say they do a lot of like facing the opposite direction of having the officiant be in the aisle so you can see everybody, or switch sides. Yeah, or you switch sides so like your family can see you and her family can see you, so it's like opposite. Um, Stuff like that. They've had a lot of people do like family officiants instead of somebody hiring somebody. I've seen a lot of readings done. I think things are definitely evolving with social media, especially like TikTok and Instagram, like seeing all those reels of fun things. And doing those little trends that are fun. But yeah,
So do you think people I guess like a percentage wise, do you think more people approach it with that in mind of like they want it to be share worthy or like worthy on social media, or do they just kind of approach it however they want to, and if it happens to be social media worthy then so be it kind of thing? Like what do they
yeah. So
kind of do?
So I think it's a little bit of both. I've kind of seen some people like you can just kind of tell and know like the younger generation I guess would be more of like that TikTok stuff, and like the older generation say I don't need a full video, so I just want little clips just to remember things by. So for content creation wise, I would say it's like back and forth. I will say like in our package we offer like TikTok takeover and Instagram takeover. So those little things where we will be on your Instagram and show like live footage of everything that's happening like in the moment. And then you get reels the next day. So it's like faster than regular video. It's iPhone quality, but they know that going into it. It is very cool, and it's not like bad quality. iPhones have like obviously evolved like insane. It's not like a flip phone quality, but they love the stuff like that because it's shorter and also not as pricey when you are trying to like rule out what you want most of. It's usually way less than a normal video. Takes faster time, obviously, because videos obviously take very long time, which I will not bash any videographer because they're so talented, and it's like I could never do it. I always tell all the videographers and photographers I work with, I'm like, I can't even hold your camera for like 2 seconds. It's so heavy. Like they are just like walking around doing the thing, and then at the end it's like absolutely beautiful and amazing, and it's worth every penny. Um, but like there's two options of which one you kind of want.
Okay, I like it. I never, like I said, I've only been to a handful of weddings in my time. Just haven't had the ability to. So I've never really thought of it being like this. It's almost, well, it is an event, but it's almost like a big
Yeah,
social event kind of thing, right? With like the 360 videos, and
yeah,
you can do like the TikTok takeover. So I like it. It's very cool.
yeah.
Um, what are like your favorite things that you've seen people do in weddings?
I will say my favorite thing recently has been like the last dance. So not saying everybody's last dance, it's just the couple. So it's kind of that last thing of after all the guests leave, they either do like a grand exit. If not, that's fine too. And it's just like the DJ and then you two. And even the coordinators, we try to like stay out of that room. It's just kind of that last moment you guys get to like kind of soak in everything, just you two together, and like you guys just got married and you guys are with everybody that you loved. And I think that moment is probably one of my favorite moments that they get.
That is, I don't know why I'm getting a little teary eyed. So that's beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think that says a lot about you and how you approach your business. Is that it wasn't some sort of upsell thing, right? It was
right.
the most precious thing was giving a moment back to the couple and letting them enjoy that. So that was an amazing answer, and I'm actually getting look. I'm getting goosebumps. What the hell? I like it,
And it is,
and
it's not, yeah,
all right. So, I think that's great, and I think we've definitely showcased like why you and what you do with your company is important, and why it's
right.
better than some of the bigger companies and corporations and mass whatever's that do it. It's important to have people who know exactly what they're doing, know how to take care of you as the client, and
Yeah,
do it on a personal level, so that that day is special. Because, like you said, it's a huge investment,
yeah,
whether it's $100 or $100,000. Like that's a lot of money to
yes.
dedicate to one day, and so you want to make sure that it goes right. And I think it's important you bring in the right people who know what they're doing and are going to sit down and have those conversations. And I think you guys are doing a great job. So
Thank
congratulations on your business.
you.
I'm going to share this video with someone who's going to probably tell me to call you very soon. So we're going to have to sort some stuff out here.
Sounds
Uh,
good.
but I wanted to kind of wrap up today with some advice. And so
Yeah.
people who are about to take the plunge, so to speak. And so what advice do you have for couples who are just starting the planning process? Like they just the guy finally popped the question.
Yeah.
What do they do now?
Yeah. I would first say after you pop the question and then you guys get that moment together, I would say take a week and just don't do nothing. Just relax and kind of take in that moment of this is the time, like actually fully take in the engagement, take in everything before you start the planning process. Once you've kind of went down and you guys relax and everything, all the craziness has gone away of everybody contacting you and doing all the celebrating, then I would say start to look at things that you guys like. So start to like think of ideas of what you guys like. and then talk about maybe the budget. Just kind of have that like ready for when you start to look for like a planner, just so we know, hey, this is where we're going to start. And then have those kind of questions ready, like the budget, things that you like, stuff like that. And then your planner will take it from there. But my number one advice is to take in each moment and don't rush it. Kind of just soak it in, and if you feel stressed out, like let your planner know that. I always say like, hey, if you feel, I always check in on my couples and I'll say, hey, if you're feeling a little bit stressed, like let me know how I can take that off of you. Like I'm here for you. I don't feel like you're alone in this. I'll walk you through everything that you want me to walk you through, and kind of just like I said, like in the beginning, like be your friend also in this process, and kind of make you guys feel comfortable and get you guys going. But that, what I would say for my first thing is just take it all in, and then get excited about it, because it's an excited time, not something you should stress out about and make yourself sick over. It's a happy time.
I like it. And one last piece of advice for the folks at home: what are some common mistakes that you see come across, that you think that if people had just this knowledge of, hey, don't do this or avoid this, like what would that be?
I would say, I know it's a hard thing and everyone brings it up, but avoid listening to other people's opinions. Like I said, everybody's going to want their little say in what you want. So just keep in mind, like, this is your wedding, and there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong way to do a wedding. So just keep in mind, if you don't have to ask like, hey, can I do this? I always get like that question where it's like, hey, can I have this there? And I'm like, it is your day. This is always going to be my answer. It is your day. You can have whatever you want. You don't, and that's it. Like, if you can afford it and you want it, get it. I am for whatever you guys want. And I will also say, family or not, don't let anybody like kind of dictate like your day, like no matter what. Like, it's about you two in the end, and that's what the advice I would give.
I like it. I like it a lot. Well,
Yeah.
Marielle, it's been awesome talking to you, and we've talked quite a bit before.
Yes.
We are, now that we're done with the interview, we could say that we are
Yes.
technically related.
Yeah.
Look, family trees are complicated
Yes.
sometimes, so we are related. But it is always fun hanging out with you
Yeah.
guys and seeing what you guys are doing, both personally and professionally. And so I'm so glad that you guys are a part of this, and that we had some time today
Yeah.
to showcase you a little bit. So for the people at home, where can people find you? Where can people get started on the journey?
Yeah, so you can either Google marriedbymariella.com, or we're on Instagram at marriedbymar, same with Facebook, or you can email me at marriedbymar@yahoo.com. But yeah, you can find us on any of that, and we will be answering you.
Very cool. And I guess I should clarify too. It's usually state specific, right? So what states are you able to cover with your company?
So we go all throughout the state of Florida, Illinois, and we travel all 50 states. If you guys want to pay for it, we just say we have a travel fee, but we are able to go anywhere. If you want to pay for us to go to Italy, we'll go.
Yeah, yeah, I'll go too, right?
Yeah,
Sign me
right.
up.
We will travel. Yep, as long as we talk about like the travel fee and the travel costs, then yep, we will. We are definitely able to do so.
Perfect. And of course, we'll link everything in the show notes. But it has
Yes,
been a pleasure. I'm so glad we were able to do this conversation today. And thank you for your time, Marielle. We'll see you soon.
yes. Thank you.
Thanks.